What is up, Underpeel Nation? It's the very first episode of the Underpeel podcast. We're here. We're here to yap. I have 2 pages of notes for yapping, and I'm going to be joined today by my co-host for the podcast, the originator, the founder of the podcast, Zahn. Welcome, Zahn.
What's up? Happy to be here.
And then also joining us today for the podcast is Interitus, the stat boy.
What's up?
So, we are here to talk all things draft. We're going to talk the draft first, go over that. If you all are interested in watching the full coverage of the draft, that's up on the VODs channel. So you just !VODs will take you to that, and you can watch the 3.5 hours of draft coverage we did for the live show.
It was a lot.
But we're gonna yap about it because, you know, what's more fun than yapping about stuff that already happened. So I'm interested in hearing what you all think. So I have a list here of highest value picks. So we're gonna cover the draft. We'll go through what we think are some of the best picks of the draft. I hear you two have some hot takes about some of the not so hot picks of the draft. We'll cover who we think are best teams coming out of the draft, and then we'll do a preview of the registered teams as we head into the tournament starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST. And then we'll make some predictions of what we think is going to happen in that tournament. You all ready?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, so do you all have any? Let's go ahead, cover the draft. So coming out of the draft, both of you were involved. Interitus was a captain in the draft. Zahn was the trade reporter, looking at all the trade info as it's happening live. Were there any standout picks for you all who stood out as being really good selections for the spot they got selected in?
I'll let you start, Zahn.
Well, as far as standout, good picks, I do think picking up Kobiscuit early from Mecha Samurai was a really good pick. Getting a strong Sentinel player off the rip, good, just in general good, especially considering how diluted our pool was with duelist mains.
Yeah, Kobiscuit being selected with the number 7 pick by Mecha Samurai. Good pick. Zahn, of course, a Cypher player, valuing the Sentinel pickup.
I'm completely unbiased.
And Dasmoto, if you don't want to get Underpeel ads, you all can use your Twitch Prime subscription on the Underpeel.
Or just get gifted it. I got gifted one.
Or get some gifted subs in the chat. You know, we got subs and Prime subs now. So we get the Prime sub into the Underpeel. No more ads for you all. All right, one of my picks, I have 4. Do you all? So I think, and I heard we were talking about this before the show. I think Vi at number 28 for Bozo Hunters. Bozo hunters, or about to be hunting bozos or BHB. That's got to be like the steal of the draft. On my big board I did before the draft, I had Vi at number 5. And they ended up going number 28 overall. Like, that's insane value.
Well, I'll go with mine. Honestly, Hayden getting picked up at 3rd was crazy. So he was actually my first pickup. He was who I wanted to play with.
You had Hayden number 1 on the big board?
No. He's who I wanted at number 5.
At number 5.
Me picking him up. He's a really good race. That was a W pickup by Getting Dubs. It's also really high value because he's only an Ascendant 2. That's 1900.
Yeah,
you get a lot off of that.
I had Hayden was basically, there were only a couple of players I had before any of the Immortals. Hayden, I think I had number 4, just ahead of Vi on my big board. Hayden was a really high value. When you looked at the stats, Hayden and Vi were both the only players besides JG and Wetbread who had like average above 300 ACS above 1 kill per round, but like top 4 in average damage per round. Like both of them were just insane players throughout the entirety of the combine. And I mean, I think Hayden went in around the right spot, and I was really smart of Captain getting dubs to recognize that and pick them up or pick him up. And then like, yeah, Vi at 28 is like a steal. I can't believe she
100%.
fell that far.
Yeah, like 28th is crazy. I even said that in trade thread when he finally got picked up. Like him getting all the way down there, criminal.
I am really surprised, like you said, that they were able to get there. But there was also like a few. I know you were actually talking about it on the desk in flesh. Teku falling at what was it, 29? It's weird to see.
I've grabbed
that
my
many...
draft big board.
Oh no.
Wait, let me double check this. Yeah, 29 because
29,
it was a trade between Chase and Teku later. But Teku falling that far, getting second rounded. It is weird to see an Immortal make it. An Immortal made it out of first round in Flash. Two Immortals.
Yeah, I mean, that's just,
Right?
I think there were a lot of the mid-elo captains in the like 6 to 10 range who were definitely picking more just on like vibes and not necessarily trying to make the most competitive team, but you know, it was a very valid way to play the Underpeel and probably might lead to a better like team environment potentially if you're just picking people you really enjoyed playing with. But I think that ended up affecting a couple of the Immortal players. Like, I think too many people were too concerned about the Pilo hit from Immortal players, but I think that's honestly just low elo copium and not understanding how much better Immortal players are than even like your average Ascendant player.
Low elo copium is a crazy comment to make there.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
It is, bro. No, that's exactly like Brad. Like a bunch of Immortals. Like Brad the Bruh was like taken super. Like the fact that, and you can see it as soon as the Ascendant captains got the chance, they snapped up. They snapped up the Immortal players who fell to them. You know, and like that's. And they're the ones who have the higher cap, you know, and they're like, I'll take them, you know, like, you know, you're going to let me get Eco Healy. You're going to let me get Brad the Bruh. Like, okay, fine. You're going to let me get like a Colt. All right. Fine with me.
Wet Bread being 11th and having other Ascendants and Diamonds getting picked above Wet Bread. That's kind of crazy.
So Wet Bread
went first.
11th. He was first.
It was a trade for Colt. It was a trade for yeah, right.
You know,
but like
Wet Bread was first off the board.
But like, my other high value pick was Yeds, who I had third on my big board because of the stats. Like they were one of the only non-duelist players who had like crazy good like fragging stats, and their controller. Like they ended up going number 21 to we'd win. And, you know, 21, like my third best player going into the draft down to pick 21. Incredible. And then some of the later rounds, for example, in round 3, I think Abusement Park, Zodiac Griller, who had that number 1 pick and traded out of it, I think they did a great job of trading that number 1 pick and then building their team out after that. The pick I wanted to highlight for that was Lucario at number 37, picking up like a potential star duelist for the mid-elo team. I had Lucario as my 20th player on my big board, like one of the better like Diamond Ascendant level duelists. And the fact that Abusement Park was able to get them in the 3rd round, you know, like after 2 full rounds is insane value to me.
So I did want to add something onto what you said about Yeds. I will add that they only played 4 nights, and of those 4 nights, they played 148 rounds. So that's about 37 rounds a night. So they probably only played max 2 games a night.
They were fragging in them.
That's just my point is that they probably just didn't get seen.
I see.
Because a lot of people who were picking high had chosen a player that they had played with and vibed with.
True.
That's true.
And then my low elo value pick of the night was Ashbourne, aka Accelerate, who we saw on stream a bunch, like fragging out as the Omen. Got picked up around number 65 by Raise You Up, or by Team Raise, like in the final round. Like the fact that they were able to get a peak plat player that late into the draft when the rest of the teams were picking like silvers and golds and bronze players, I think was really well done by Raise You Up.
Well, if you want to talk about low, like good low elo pickups, in Jared is you getting Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah,
at 32nd.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely. I actually let me speak on this because it is obviously my player. Buzz. For anyone who doesn't know Buzz is probably one of the best plat controllers I've ever met. This man is insane. We really vibed as well because we played a lot. Yeah. Look, there you go. Thank you, Vi, for dropping that clip. We dropped. Yeah, in the second round, 32nd. I picked him over choosing any of the diamonds. There were a lot of diamonds available. Still, I think there were like 5 left.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have picked up Penguin, I could have picked up Snow, Lucario, anyone. But Buzz has been on a grind recently. And he's been really good. And obviously, like we talked about him last season, he, at least in my mind, I felt like he was held back because of his team he was on. He was on a team built around Kanuchi. He didn't have something to have a build around. And because we have more of an elo cap now, I think we're gonna be able to do more because he has players who aren't gold and below for the rest of his team. He has people like me. I'm plat. I have a gold 3 and a silver 1, silver 2, silver 1. I don't know what K-Dot is. But we have a little bit higher of a elo cap, and so he has someone who can fight with.
I mean, I had Buzz before we treat. Buzz is the only player that I accepted having. I had him 17th on the big board, above every diamond. Before every diamond, except for Bishop, and above a couple of Ascendants, and even one Immortal, because he was by far the best like Pilo value player in the draft, because he was top, like he's plat and he was like top 10 in like ADR and like KPR. Like it's insane how he's playing in the combines.
Now that we'll have for next season, we'll have clutch stats. I wouldn't be surprised if he has one of the highest clutch stats. Like obviously you look at that clip, that's not like that just happened once. He does that a lot. He has some. Oh, that's funny. He has a really good mental, like in scrims, or not in scrims, in clutch situations where he is willing to just stop and take the time and be calm about it. And I think that was honestly like the big reason why I like playing with him.
Nice. Well, let's transition then into what are some of the teams like you're looking forward to. Like, what are the top teams? Who you think did the best job building their team in the draft and are going to come out of the gate immediately next weekend in the draft team tournament? Team kickoff.
If we're talking about teams that drafted well, Gold got 4 out of his 5 wanted picks.
Yeah.
Like, he got everyone but Lav. I have a feeling they're probably going to play really well coming into the first draft tournament. Like, I know for a fact that all 4 of them are good friends and play with each other. So if they can just get Villager to work with them really well in those scrims, they're probably going to do really well. Especially with Apathy and Naruto's.
Villager, when I played combines with him, was really good at just kind of adapting, like just walking into games and being willing to listen. That's something that, like, I don't think I've seen a low elo player who really hasn't had that, who has had that issue. A lot of our low elo players are willing to listen, but Villager seemed to kind of absorb it a lot when I was playing with them in combines. So I think that's a really good pickup by Gold.
Yeah, and I think they have kind of the correct team comp here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it's gonna be interesting seeing because Villager, right, with your low elo player, you're probably not gonna want to like shift their role around too much.
No.
But I know Komoru has flexed onto Sova before, so I'm interested to see if Komoru is gonna pick up the Flash Initiator, because that's kind of the only thing I'm noticing in that comp that's missing a little bit.
I can see that.
Interidus, do you have any teams that stand out to you?
So I'm gonna probably say Code Basic just because of Sing. Sing is one of the reasons I play...
draft teams.
Oh, draft
we'll
teams.
we'll
Sorry, I thought we were talking about
registered teams.
My bad. I'm trolling. I thought we were talking about registered teams.
We're gonna go through all of the registered teams that are signed up for the tournament and show off their logos and their rosters. We got it all dealt out in Interidus. All right, I'll give you some time to.
Let me cook.
All right, my teams. I have down we'd win. It was the first team I wrote down when I was thinking draft teams I think are gonna perform well in the tournament next week with the draft team kickoff. We'd win. I scrimmed with their captain, Lane, and he's got a really good mind for the game. And I think both We'd win and Silly Little Oppers, if we're able to pull those teams up, I think we're in the best positions of the draft. Low-key drafting late into the first round and then having the first picks in the second and fourth rounds really were helpful for building out like a more complete roster that helps you get closer to the cap. So We'd win picked up, for example, Lance, who was probably the most impressive Flash Initiator player I'd seen in the Combines. I was really impressed by their IGLing when we did the comm listen-ins. And they also got Yeds as well with their second round pick. So they're really high. And then Silly Little Oppers also stood out to me as having gotten a really solid team around team captain frame data. So those two teams stood out to me a lot. Then my honorable mentions were Parasite, Gatekeeper, Serpent Strikers, and Abusement Park. If I was saying who do I think are going to be the top 6, I would bet those 6 teams make it the top 8.
Oh, definitely. I really want Silly Little Oppers team to win, just because I want to see Echo Healy play ISO and win in this draft league with ISO. I really hope he picks ISO.
That would be kind of funny.
It would be hilarious.
Well, so I've heard he's gonna play it on Icebox still.
Really?
I mean, we had a bunch of clips from him on Icebox, just popping off on the ice.
I hope so.
If we could pull up Silly Little Oppers team graphic, that'd be perfect. Because I think they have Eco Healy, frame, their roles make sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is the other thing I really liked was Ultra was my second highest diamond player. Really impressive, Flash Initiator kind of flex player. And then non-existent is Fire Spirit, who was the absolutely Frank level insanity Omen player that we had seen throughout the Combines, making some crazy TP plays. So I'm excited for that team.
Also, having 3 diamonds in an Ascendant is insane.
Well, apparently in our Scrimbuck, the streets are saying that Ultra's also hit Ascendant recently, so that's not surprising to me. So they're one of the, and I could see Fire Spirit ranking up a lot too. So that's a team I could see being kind of like these registered teams that are able to even be above the cap because they've just been improving since forming. All right, did you think of a team, Interidus?
So I'm gonna call them out just because of their insane first pick, and I think it's gonna be Nugs. If you have look at their graphics.
Okay.
Lav as a first pick is insane, but it caused them to do this, which is obviously have 4 plats and 6,500. They're going to struggle, but I feel like they're going to kind of pull a cup run, which is ironic because Lav is still on the team.
Yeah.
so he's just making cup beat too.
That's so true.
I mean,
Also,
Shin.
Lav is an insane IGL.
Yeah. Shin also was a huge fragger, I feel like, during the combine, so, like, is not really plat. Jelly Boy, I see his deadlock here, but I remember when I was looking over the stats, I was kind of like, I would have targeted Jelly Boy as my, like, recon initiator. And then I've heard really good things about Cue Ball as well. So I think these players are they're probably all a little underrated right now. So they could definitely rise up to being a pretty good, like, high average player level team.
I mean, if they can start working, like, get those scrims going, work together, get their comms cleaned up, they can do really well in these, like, even against, like, teams, I want to say it now, Kenichi's team, against the Mittens, especially against them, they might be able to do well, as long as they get the strats down.
Alrighty, so, and we'll wrap up our draft coverage. If you want to hear more analysis and be able to see the teams, check out the VODs channel to be able to look over the all of the draft coverage we did during the draft live. It was probably our best event I think we've done so far. So I definitely give it a look. Ulrich fixed the spreadsheet. Let's go. All right, matchups are ready to go. And let's go ahead and start. Let's do our preview of the first tournament that starts tomorrow, our registered teams kickoff. And so we're going to go through each team, give a little bit of analysis about the roster, and look them over. We're going to reveal the logos. Yeah, if you were here waiting for the logos, they're about to drop. Yeah, we're going to go. Let's take a look at our first team. Probably one of the more anticipated teams of this season 4, Kitten Shelter. Let's take a look at the roster. And obviously something stands out pretty apparently here. This is the roster. How far can Delete and Cesora carry this team, right? They are the ones pushing the boundaries of our Pilo system. Having 2 high Immortal 3, Delete's even hit Radiant before, level players, and then fitting in a bunch of players who were Bronze, Silver 1 at the start of their roster forming. And as you can see, their team Pilo is up because especially Kiro Siphius has gone from their registered rank of Silver 2 to Gold 3.
That Immortal coaching is already paying off, considering they're 900 above the Pilo rank. Weren't they at Pilo when they registered?
Yeah, any team had to be at 8K for the registration. But these team Pilos you see are their current team Pilo. So it'll be a good way for us to kind of track and see like how strong you could potentially measure a roster at.
I would say this is probably one of my... I'm excited to watch their games because I want to see how far their 3 lower elos can progress throughout the season and see how well they can mesh together. I also kind of want to see how Delete and Cesora make up for their lower elos weaknesses in these matches.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a like interesting because like I'm kind of hopeful that the high team Pilo is a bit fake for this team, and then another team also is using this strategy, and hoping that they are more kind of an average to like above average kind of squad, because we don't know yet, right? We're gonna have to see like how do teams respond. I think teams that are really coordinated can really punish teams like Kitten Shelter of finding and just hunting out the low elo players. Because the main thing is going to be is that the disconnect between these high elo players and the low elo players is going to be the speed of the game. Like, even if they get their mechs up to par where they can kind of hang against other players, it's going to be more of the decision-making speed gap is going to be so different between Delete, Cesaro, and the rest of the team.
I also think like part of it is like specifically for people who were playing against them. Give you a little bit of a tip. Take them to 3 map sites or 3 maps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Haven of Lotus. Haven if it gets added. It's a lot easier because what they'll do is they'll double up. You'll see them either play with like Delete and Cesora playing together, or they'll try to put one of them with two others.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that on a 3-site map without giving up a site. And so you just constantly focus on fighting that, and it will be a lot easier. It's not going to be easy, don't get me wrong. But I think the biggest thing, at least for Kitten Shelter, is going to be playing aggressive. They got to get those early fights.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're playing Kitten Shelter and Kitten Shelter in reverse, right? Kitten Shelter are going to rack up a bunch of rounds on their attack. And basically, you're going to be playing like, can you beat their attack score on on your attack? Like, which team's attack is going to be better? Because it's going to be hard to stop the double-edged sword of Delete and Cesora. All right, any other thoughts about Kitten Shelter?
I'm curious to see what the low elo people do, honestly. I think that'll be the biggest marker of how they work.
And, for example, like, what level do they need to get to where you can kind of start leaving them on their own? You know, like, is
mid-gold.
Is Kuro Sophius, like, ready to, like, be like, okay, we're going to leave Kuro Sophius as an anchor, or, like, Kuro Sophius is going to lurk, right? To, like, widen the depth of what they can do in their play strategy. It's gonna be interesting to see for sure.
I would be kind of surprised to see them anchor a lot of sites. I think they'll probably try to play retake.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that would be a mistake if they were playing it like normal Valorant. Like, that's the thing about these two teams; they have to play really weird. Like, they have to play weird, to maximize how their roster's built. But we can talk more about that, like, general strategy when we get to the other team that is like this. So next up, we're going to take a look at Blueberry Maxers. And so I'll be talking about, and here they are, Blueberry Maxers. This is, as we look at this squad, I have two different styles of roster construction, I think, of the classically built roster, like Blueberry Maxers have here, where you have your, like, lower elo player, a couple of players, like you have a gold, plat, diamond, ascendant, immortal player, right? And that's what we have here with Blueberry Maxers. And I really like the roles. Like, I like having the high elo player on Kit, on the Duelist, and then Gage, I know, is also, I think, plays a lot of Cypher. So on the Sentinel, so your two players that are going to act alone a lot are your best players. And then, you know, the rest of your team can act as support almost to them.
Yeah. I will leak scrim books because they've been doing this for months. Kit, Rare, and Gage have been all on a scrim team together for 3 months now. Whoa. So those three play together a lot.
Also, I will say, as Rare's old teammate, that man's crazy. I feel like sometimes he doesn't get aggressive enough, but, like, if he gets aggressive, I've seen him win some crazy fights.
I mean, I have Blueberry Maxers marked down as one of the teams I'm most excited to watch. Mostly because I think they're one of the best, like, classically built rosters. Like, of their lowest player, right, is a gold player, right? And a gold flash initiator player. I think that's perfect. And, like, I've heard I've heard they're a big, like you said, scrim team. Their strats are high. Like, they have they're doing a ton of prep. So I'm excited to watch them.
So they're a team to take down. That's what I'm hearing.
They're a team to take down.
Prove that you're better at Valorant. Something like that. I don't know.
It is a Uber IGL also, so I want to see what they do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a mark of a team that does a lot of success. Is teams that have those higher elo IGLs are going to be really successful because they just understand the game better than, like, my ass and Diamond 2 IGL. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just be able to mid round better.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're going to take a look at Sewer Cats next. And this is our first example of the other style roster, of where it's a high average player Pilo roster, right? Where there's no hard carry necessarily, but they're their players are all a higher up level, right? We got a bunch of diamonds, an ascendant, spooky beast, peaked plat. But sewer cat here, right? Looking. What do we think of sewer cat as we look at this roster?
Well, I have to start by obviously talking trash about Lydia. I
Mhm.
mean, stat girl down and all. But no, I mean, I think they're really good. Spooky Bee's also one of the players from Mini Peel 1 that won it. I don't remember it was 1 or 2. But he has
Yeah, he is a
won
mini peel
one of
champion.
the Mini Peels. And he also really does a really good job of holding down sight. Specifically for like a gold. Like a lot of time you'll see gold sentinels kind of struggle with fast takes. But he was able to kind of hit back at people and kind of hold his own. So I think him on the cipher is really good. If that's what.
Well, I'm surprised. I think you messed with my agents, sir, because
I didn't mess with anything.
is Spooky Bee. I'm gonna look at my sheet right now that I wrote down for you.
What's
I have
that?
Spooky Bee written as Fade
Oh,
right
well,
here.
Wait, why? Wait,
So you're
wait,
messing
no, it's
with
not
my
my fault.
stuff.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's set up correctly.
Because
That guy down?
Yeah.
That guy down?
No. It's
'Cause
not my
I'm-
fault. It's not my fault.
Because I know that
I'm
Spooky
throwing
Bee
Zendikar
is
under
a
the bus.
hardcore recon
No.
initiator.
I'm throwing
so,
Zendikar under the bus. Because
So-
I have no. If you scroll over to the left, I have it down as Fade.
Okay.
Production.
But I see Lydia answering this in the chat of I was going to say my big question for this team is what Jat was gonna play, because both Spooky Bee and Jat mostly played Sova from what I could tell today as I was doing research on ranked. And I knew they would probably put Spooky Bee on the Recon Initiator because you want to keep your lower elo player comfortable. Lydia in the chat saying that Jad is going to be their flex player. There we go. Fade. There we go. So Jad's going to be a flex player, which is, I was going to have a broader discussion with this team and the next team we're going to be talking about of like no flash initiator or only having one, like a recon initiator or a flash initiator. Some teams have a plethora of initiators, but some teams, right, you're gonna have to pick and like if you're going just based off of comfort rolls, it'll be interesting to see how they navigate not having a dedicated flash initiator or recon initiator.
Well, I definitely don't. If they don't run Flash, I can't really see them going on to Split or Lotus, considering how like vital flashes are for taking space on those maps. So this is my complete guess at this point. They're probably gonna permaban those two maps.
Okay. Liddy in the chat saying there's depths to their comps that haven't been revealed. Okay. All right, so some mystery abound for sewer cats. They're lurking in the tunnels, in the sewers. And we're gonna move on to our next roster, Code Basic, another classically built roster where you have a lower elo player along with a mortal player to kind of balance out the roster, right? So here's Code Basic. And Turdus, you were saying
Yeah.
that this was one of the teams you had to watch.
Yeah, before I got brutally cut off because I wasn't paying attention. I will say, like I was trying to say earlier, Sing's like one of the reasons I started picking up Cypher. Because I originally, before us playing on Ego on season 3, I didn't play Cypher at all. Like I hated Cypher.
Oh,
This man taught me some lineups.
Nah, how dare.
I'm cooking. I cook now. I'm so much better.
Cypher
I'm so much better.
lineups?
Yeah, Cypher lineups. Like
Cypher lineups,
like
yeah.
trips and stuff.
Oh, you mean setups?
Okay. Sorry, my bad. But
That's why they're streaming gaming right now.
I mean, the rest of the team is also really good. I haven't really had a chance to play with Ihaz Foot much, so I can't really say anything about him as a low elo. But I know I've definitely fought Kryek and Alex Sabati before. And
Cryek
both of them are
is a high level
crazy.
player, yeah, and Alex the Batty is one of those players who always plays above their
Yeah.
elo. I think has participated in all 4 seasons now of the Underpeel Alex the Batty, aka Walmart Pin Flash,
What a good.
for the real ones who know. If you know, you know. And yeah, team captain Barcode is going to be the solo duelist here. Well, something I noticed with this roster is, what do we think this team's going to be playing double controller, and like, do we think that's going to be viable after the Viper nerfs that are coming in?
Viable, yes. Will they play it?
I mean, yeah, who knows? I know Cryek does. I think he mainly plays controller, but I don't know if they'll actually pull off the double controller. They might instead just replace Viper with Harbor on certain maps now if they do run it.
Well, you can also just not run double controller in certain maps if you have to.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. We can't know because the Viper nerf just happened.
Yeah. But Viper's also not the only secondary controller you can play. Like, I think a lot of teams will start, like, running a Clove as a secondary because you can just put them with an entry. And, oh, hey, they have smokes.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was gonna be like if Clove will be the especially like a team like this where like your duelist is a mid elo player, can definitely hold their own and get value, but isn't gonna necessarily be a hard carry duelist. Like, and you have your immortal player on smokes, right? Are they gonna be playing more Clove to kind of add some firepower and enable like an immortal smokes player to really frag out?
Yeah, I will think. I do think biased here. I do think Barcode is pretty underranked for what he is.
I think a lot of Underpeel players are like that, to be fair.
That is true, but still, like I do think Barcode will, if he can get the support of his team, he will pop off.
Yeah, let me huff some copium. I definitely am not plaid.
All right, moving on. We have one of our only returning. We only have 4 core rosters returning from season 3, and one of them is Nibs and Knobs coming up. We get the new Nibs and Knobs logo, and we can see they would be one of my teams to watch. I'm very fascinated to see how the returning teams perform. And my big question for this team, they are a high average Pilo roster, right? You can see their lowest Elo player is Diamond 1, Koopa. And my question is, who's playing Duelist for this team? Because Booker, I noticed, is playing Neon a lot in Ranked, but had been a clutch Killjoy player during Season 3.
Well, considering they have Koopa, I doubt the Booker switches back. Unless they're going to run some wild shenanigans with double Sentinel, but I very much doubt that.
Yeah, but I also noticed, not to leak month-old scrims that I noticed on tracker.gg, but in the 2 scrims I found in their customs, Koopa was actually playing the Duelist in their scrims. Yeah, so I'm interested to see if it's going to be the Neon on Booker or if it's going to be a more traditional Duelist from Koopa. But it was interesting, right? Because it's 4 of the 5 players from Nibs and Knobs last season who ended top of Group B, and they replaced their Duelist player who had to leave with
FMJ.
Julius J. FMJ had to step away, wasn't able to play this season, but they added Julius J, right, who is a hardcore recon initiator. So that question mark is there of who's going to pick up the entry fragger position for the squad.
Small correction: he is a Sova one trick. He plays Sova on split. That is how much of a one trick he is.
Okay. All right. Ban Sova. Heard.
Ooh.
Got it.
Right. Play only split.
Play only split. Yeah.
Play only split. Yeah.
I saw the scrim from yesterday. Julius is the Duelist.
Yeah.
But Nibs and Knobs would want to be, as we can see, 8,500 Team Pilo. They've been playing together this core roster for like ever. and I see them in VCs together all the time. Like the chemistry's insane with this team, and they're gonna be a threat as we progress into tournaments throughout the season.
Oh, for sure.
Alrighty, we're gonna move on to Evil Buffoons, another classic roster, and I've heard this is the lineup Larry team.
Good. Yeah, those are a lot of lineup players. Yep,
Yeah.
a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, I've heard the streets have told me they have a Discord server. Their team Discord server has dozens of channels apparently dedicated to lineups.
No, my
So
God.
you know, they do be lineuping, and
As they should.
we can see the classically built roster. And with the lineups, my question for this team as we head into the first tournament is how well can the team set up Bakata, their hard carry duelist player?
Nakata is really good. So if they get like the proper lineups, he might actually be unstoppable. As long as the enemy team doesn't mess
We
up, I guess.
tried bribing Baka for the folders, and they did not have shit optimized.
That sounds about right.
But yeah,
I wonder if they have access to the Sova folder.
Baka is good, and my guess would be that Craze is going to shift over to Recon Initiator. Craze, she's a season 1 champion from Team X from season 1. Won that title with on the original season of the Underpeel. I remember in that season, Crazed played a lot of the Sova. So my guess is that she'll be the Recon Initiator for this team. And so there'll be one to look out for. All right, next up, we're going to be seeing our second returning team. Another classic roster, but they've improved so much that it's almost not even really a classic roster anymore. It's Frog.gif.
Yeah.
And we got a very interesting roster here. They keep 4 of their members from the 3rd place team from season 3 and bring in Dune Appreciator on the Sova to pick up the Recon Initiator for the team. And we have Frogfurger down here as a jet player because that's what he plays in ranked. But I would say that Frogfurger, from my impressions of season 3 playoffs, was probably the best flex player in the league last season.
Frogfurger is also just scary. You put Frogfurger on Yoru, I'm good. I'll dodge that game. I'm good.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. If they have
Go
Samus
ahead.
and Frog, he's probably going to be flexing a lot, depending on, probably double initiator or double controller, if I had to guess, for most of the maps.
I mean, what we saw last season was they were able to play a lot of really unique, different comps and throw different looks at teams because Samus is like a Neon One trick and gives you a different look than a lot of teams are going to be seeing on most maps. So I remember and Frogfurger just was able to consistently get top 3 level stats and value playing Sage on Split, playing Fade on Lotus, playing Yoru on Breeze. He was just all over the place playing these different agents across roles and still getting value. So I'm interested to see Team Frog.gif. They would be one of my I probably would have selected them as one of my top 2 going into this tournament, but I do know that Frogfurger has to miss Saturday if they make it to top 8. So,
Oh, that's so sad.
but I mean, they're going to be a team that's going to be up there throughout the season, I think, because they're carrying over a full season's worth of playing together. And they were able to have a ton of success in the playoffs last year, and they're just going to carry it over into season 4.
Am I allowed to veto not playing a team?
No.
Worth a try.
All right, we're going to head on to one of my other teams to watch. One of the teams I'm excited to get a look at, Fruit Ninjas. Another high average roster where their lowest Pilo player is Diamond 1. As we take a look at Fruit Ninjas here, It's Hunter, a mini peel champion, has ranked up to Diamond, so no longer eligible for mini peel. And what's our impressions of this roster as we take a look at it?
So I'll be completely honest. I don't think I've played with a lot of these players. I think It's Hunter's like the only one I've actually fought against. And I a couple times in the in-houses. So I don't really have a whole lot to like really say about them.
Yeah,
Hunter was only second place in mini peel. My bad. Stolen Valor.
Still second place.
That is still, yeah. I think I've only ever played with Harshal and I and Sonic and in-houses. I know for a fact Harshal and Sonic are really good at what they do on those initiators. So I have a feeling if they can just get the rest of the team coordinated, they can do well.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 initiator players, so I'm going to be interested to see what kind of style this team goes for. I know Herschel Asta is also a former controller player, so I wouldn't be surprised if he flexes around depending on what the team needs. And Rusty's telling us in the chat, one that I picked wrong when selecting his name of I should have gone with Rusty. I initially wrote down Rusty and I was like, but I don't know if that's his actual server name, so I'll go with the server name, and he's changed it to Rusty. So our Sova here is Rusty. He's just Rusty. And he's apparently going to be picking up the Sentinel for the team, he's saying in the chat.
Also, apparently, according to Lydia, we're hunting It's Hunter because when we were trying to figure out what their Val ID is, because they changed it, it took like half an hour.
Yeah, they're butterfly.
So you're getting hunted down by the stats people.
Stat girl wants revenge for the wasted time.
You spent closer to 2? I didn't realize it was that long.
2 hours?
Yeah, see, this is why I didn't do it. I made Lydia do it.
Yes, Fire Spirit. Any team Pilo that you see above 8,000 is because they've ranked up since registering. So, for example, I know that It's Hunter ranked up. I believe Rusty ranked up since their registration. All right, let's move on. Minis Val team, another high average roster team. They have 3. I'm interested to see if 3 Ascendants can basically overpower the rest of the field. And again, we see another team that's managed to rank their players up where their lowest Pilo player is a Diamond 1.
Well, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Woodrow. He just ranked up a Diamond. Like,
I know.
Today.
I saw it while I was playing TDM and changed it like 20 minutes ago. I updated it.
Our team has ranked up a lot since we
signed up. This is gonna be a really hard team to fight.
Yeah, this is one of the teams I've managed to sneak into scrims for, and they're pretty. I don't think I've seen them lose a scrim. I watched like 4 maps. I think they were looking solid, looking like a strong team. Zon, to give us the insights. This must be your brother, Jan, on Mini's Val team here. You have any insights?
Yeah, as a higher elo bridge. Our comms are probably the best part of having a higher elo average, just in general, because you don't have to sit there and tell your lower elo players specifically how to comm, which is a big part about what this coordinated team environment is like. Comms are really, really important. With a team like ours, and I'm going to guess it's the same with the other higher average teams, your comms are already going to be at a good standard, so you don't have to spend as much time strictly working on just that. You can just work on everything else instead.
True.
It just ends up saving a lot of time, and it also helps that we already know what we're trying to accomplish, so we don't have to sit there and spend a lot of time in scrims or outside of scrims just figuring out this is what we want. We can just go and do it instead of trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, I think, and you can tell Minimoff when constructing this roster was very intentional on the roles. You have each role like kind of perfectly filled, right? You have a duelist, recon, flash initiator, controller player, sentinel. So
I will leak it. So originally the three that we had originally was me, Minnie Moth, and Sierra. We ended up getting Woodrow when he was, I believe he was plat 2 when we got him. And at the time, I was still getting my rank up games done, my 50 games done for the Underpeel. So by the time I got to my 50th game, we had literally just enough pilo to get just hired in.
Yeah, just snuck them in, and now you all are on the way up.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those teams that I think is going to be a strong contender throughout the season.
We plan to win it all, and we will win it all.
Ooh, the call out. Okay. All right, heading on to our third returning. Or do you have something to add?
No, I was just gonna say that I'm very afraid of having to fight them. That was it.
We're going to be bringing out Not All Yoru, our third returning team. Core 4 of Hippo, Street, Captain Neon, and Sharkbait are back from the It's All Yoru team. And they're not all Yoru anymore. My note here is that I think they're not going to play Yoru like all season. Just based off of checking out what they kind of play more often. They've picked up Rainy Day to replace Zlab. They're playing Yoru, I'm leaking. But yeah, they're a solid roster, and they're one of the teams. There's another team I want to shout this out that had transitioned kind of from a. Though this team was a high average. Actually, it's wrong. They were a high average roster last season, and we saw them end up having some pretty good success in playoffs because players Hippo and Zlab were able to hit that immortal peak during the season and raise the team's level. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do it again with some of their players.
And I have to call him out. Sharkbait, how are you gold? This man is crazy. I swear to God, I've had people we like in I think I'm pretty sure this was a mini peel. Someone asked if he was smurfing. That
well, I mean, he was
scary.
silver last season. He was their silver.
Sharkbait is the GOAT. I agree.
Sharkbait, Underpeel intern. If you want to support the Underpeel intern and allow him to get fed, hit that donation button down below. Prime subscribe to help Sharkbait be able to get lattes for the crew.
How's that even
Any other thoughts about Not All Yoru?
Well, if Captain Neon plays Neon, I'm really interested. I just want to see the team constantly get the game, dude.
It'll be interesting to see what they pull out. All right, let's move on to our next team. This might be my favorite logo of the registered teams. I think this one's so good. Optimistic here. And I have marked down here that, as we can see with their lower team Pilo, I remember when Bubblegum Frog was putting this roster together, they were specifically looking for more casual players. So this is the for fun team. So if you're shocked by their team Pilo, it's because they're the more like, you know, we're not going to play every tournament. We're just like here for a good time, not a long time sort of team.
Rid of Pilo, that icon is amazing.
Yeah, no, the logo's sick.
Yeah,
I don't want it to get missed. Stejans, I hope I didn't butcher it. Said that they're going to be hard carrying the roster to the dub.
Okay, Stejans. I see. Lily, we're not even gonna do Team Teehee because you didn't sign up for the tournament, Lily. Anyways, moving on to Mouse House. One of the other teams I have an eye on, their high average roster, basically formed 5 in-house demons together to make a squad. Team KR has kind of pulled together 5 different in-house demons, and they've made the Mouse House.
So I got a bit of insider knowledge. it's not really that important. Salty is getting coaching from Saltless.
Ooh, okay.
So, which is crazy to me that he's playing Sky right now. I'm gonna be real here. Because he used to be a Jet main.
Well, I think because you have Soul on the list.
I can leak from on my team, the Shiesty Sorcerers scrimmed this team, and Soul I think was playing Flex at the time, but I think they can also pull out the double duelist. I have down here that this could be one of the most explosive teams. They have Avery and Soul who can act as double dive, and then plus double initiator of Salty and Cade. It is a lot of explosive firepower they can bring out on a team.
What map did we play them on again? Was that Icebox?
Yes, we played them on Icebox and Bind.
Didn't we lose?
We played them on 2 maps. We lost both, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that game now.
We almost came back from being down like 2-10 from the first half on the Icebox. And on Bind, we threw a like 10-2 lead. So, you know.
I think they were also like a team that was really hard to adapt to.
They just play really weird because they're in-house demons, basically. Yeah. You just have to say the streets told me, insert scrim info. Yeah. Well, in this instance, my source is me. Because it was me. But yeah, the streets are talking. This team, they're just some demons. Like, they'll just take weird timings and swing you when they shouldn't. Because they're kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I love all these players. They're kind of dumbasses, and they're just gonna swing out when they shouldn't, and they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you in the head. So, you know, I'm excited to see them. I think they're gonna. I think this is gonna be one of those teams that you're not gonna be expecting to go on a deep run, but in like one of the weekend tournaments, or maybe they make even a Masters, they'll go on a long run.
I do agree with Minimoth in chat. Soul Avery is a crazy combo.
Yeah, it's a good. That's what I mean. Of like, I think they could be. I think they'll troll, like on defense, and throw a lot of rounds. But on attack, I think they'll be so explosive if they're playing the double duelists. All right, I'm flipping the page to my second page of notes.
Not the second page.
All right, we're moving on to the Shaq Kobe and crew. Our other team that's pushing the boundaries have 2 high elo players, along with a bunch of silvers. And here we notice Poland, right? Our only current Radiant in the Underpeel this season. Mm-hmm. And yeah, as we can notice, all these, I'm interested to see what their comps will end up being, because everyone's a duelist main.
Yup.
So I will say, I'm at peril of being copyright striked by the Dazumoto. I'm leaking scrim bucks. So
the streets are saying,
Pinflash, you saw it last night. Me and Moderate went against team SKC. SKC. And you know what?
The streets
this is the ego talking. I'm not that afraid of Poland.
Classic Plat. fucking Plat players, dude, are like, a Radiant.
Okay. No. I'm sorry. Buzz dropped 33.
Okay. Does Buzz have a Radiant icon though?
No, he doesn't. He's Plat, and he's better.
Damn.
That's why he's my second round. That's why he's my second round.
Well, Lily is leaking scrimbucks that they lost a 4v5 to Poland and Dasu. Of Lily's team literally had man advantage and lost the scrim. So, you know, I'm hearing the streets have conflicting reports, chat. Let the streets know. Yeah, that makes sense. The streets, breaking news from the streets. It apparently seems Poland has his monitor off last night, and so that's what happened.
Killing my confidence. I was so ready. I was feeling so hyped from last night. Now my confidence has been killed. Thank you.
Now it's time for you to be scared again, Anteratus.
Now that I know that he wasn't on his setup, I'm more scared.
Julius J, we're in New York City here. We got 150 avenues of streets here.
3 for days.
You had no mouse. I don't know. You one tapped me plenty enough to have a mouse.
Well, the highways, Lily, say I think this team is going to be even more drastic than Kitten Shelter in how, like, this is going to be a very feast or famine team. I could see them absolutely demolishing teams who aren't ready to go up against, like, the best player in the league in Poland. And Dasimoto obviously is going to be clicking heads too. And then I could see a coordinated team being able to beat this team pretty easily at times.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like I said about Kitten Shelter is taking them to a 3-site map.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
having to separate
going to
the high
disagree
elo
with
players.
you, Lydia. I think you start attack. If you can get those early rounds and play a 3-site map, and you can take apart their defense, it makes it less times where it can just be Poland with a shotgun sitting. That man with a shotgun is scary. It is scary.
I'll leak Woodrow. Clearly, Poland is Shaq and Dasu is Kobe, but like 2000 like 8 like 2014 2014 Kobe, I think. All right, so we're gonna move on to our final returning team. They don't have 4 returning players; they only have 3. The defending champions, Tinfoil Rex. And as we see them coming up, we can notice they've transitioned from a classic style roster to a high average roster after Cesora brutally left them to form Kitten Shelter. Tinfoil Rex are back though with Stuart Malcrow and Noodle Norris, adding Terp from the second place team of Cup last season, and Doge joining the squad as their duelist player.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that Stuart, Malco, and Doge is a crazy core to have, as well as Terp. Like, those 4 play together a lot. I can't speak of Noodle Norris. I don't know them that well.
We'll get to that team, Enzo. They're the last ones. They were the last team to sign up. Yeah, Terp is a good get. I think they're going to be good. I think this team is one of the ones I would look at. I could see a lot of these players ranking up a lot and seeing this team Pilo go above the 8K cap like we've seen with other teams.
Also, Malco is scary.
I'm going to call out Stuart. He should not be Diamond 1.
Well, isn't he like Immortal 1 peak or something?
No. Little bro's ascendant. No, he's ascendant.
I thought he hit Immortal 1 at one point.
No.
Maybe I'm thinking something else.
You're giving Little Bro too much credit here. Let's move on. We can't.
Whoa.
We can't
be in. Don't tear down Little Bro like that. That's crazy.
The streets has told me that Stuart is quote washed.
That's crazy.
The streets are so real.
We got the streets are haters.
It's for real.
Peak Ascendant 1?
That makes sense.
Wait, I am thinking of someone else then.
That makes sense, Malcrove. These are all school kids, so they were all in school. But finals are over, so they're about to hit the ranked grind.
They better climb that ladder soon. Stuart is not Diamond 1.
Woodrow, yes. Kitten Shelter is the highest Pilo team currently at 8,900.
Yep.
We're going to move on to Weebs and Dweebs, who have a classic roster, but a different twist of their high elo player. Their immortal player is a Bike, who is a Sentinel player. And then along with Baby Itachi, kind of round out the higher elo side. Then Duelist Zeno. And then Golden and Jess rounding out the roster.
This is an interesting team composition.
Yeah, I'm really interested. That's my other question for this team. Is we clearly we don't see any smokes currently, and we have double Sentinel here of like the comfort picks. My guess is knowing Jess, who's been playing in the in-houses and in the Underpeel since season 1, has always been one of the higher low elo fragging players, like always looks good. Whenever we switch to her point of view, I think they're going to leave her on the Sentinel. I think a bike flexes to Smokes. Golden is saying we'll have Smokes. It's good to hear.
I wouldn't
Golden.
be surprised to see bike.
Don't question it.
I'm
Just watch.
It's okay. They have iPad Kid to carry the team.
I was like, it's Spike secondary Smokes. I know that for a fact, so he'll probably be the Smokes player for the team.
Yeah, most likely. I'm going to shout out New to Buddha again. I think Weebs and Dweebs have another of the best logos.
That's such a good logo.
All they have to do, I think, in order to win, is just make sure Xeno hits the right side, and they'll be fine.
True. Xeno is a demon.
As long as you make sure that man has something to pay attention to, he'll be fine.
The streets are saying Omen will be played on Breeze by Bike. Interesting. And that apparently Itachi was trying to get some fade practice in the in-houses last night. All right, this is my final team to watch. One of the 3 teams I'm most excited to see as we move forward, and they are the second highest Pilo team currently. I can't say their first name, but Tigers XJFT. And I'm really excited for them because I don't think I really know any of these players. But I know they've been in the community for a while. Like Bakonkus is a 12-month sub. And they are a high average team. And one of the things I noticed is that Vital, aka Mobby ranked up to Immortal after registering. So they went from Ascendant 1 to Immortal is one of the big reasons for their team Pilo spiking.
I think the only one I've ever seen at anyone is Prius God here.
No, it's fine.
I don't know it on the same.
You got it? Okay.
Oh, Herschel. Oh, is this the other half of your premier team you were talking about earlier? Are the Tigers?
I got it. Wait.
Yeah, how do we say this? Do either of you know how to say this first name?
Xinjiang?
Xinjiang.
Oh, I think. I may have butchered it. I'm just guessing.
I don't know.
I'm 100% just guessing.
Xinjiang. The Xinjiang Tigers.
Xinjiang. I was close.
Xinjiang.
I wasn't close.
Xinjiang.
Xinjiang.
Jiang.
Wait, how bad was mine? Zendikar. Okay, I'll take it.
Xinjiang. The Xinjiang Tigers. They are. I can't say their name, but I'm really excited for this team. This is one of the teams I'm like most looking forward to. Seeing how they perform in the Underpeel season 4. Thoughts, panel podcasters.
I got nothing. I don't know these people.
I don't know these people. I'm sorry.
I think they're gonna impress. I'm interested to see. They're one of the only teams I notice have like a double duelist. Because I think Enteradus messed up the
no,
Pilo
because
when he fixed the name.
broke it.
I didn't touch anything.
For those on the streets, their team Pilo is 8,700 right now.
Yes, they are the second highest Pilo team.
Give me a second. Why are you?
The rest of the panel's not familiar with their game, but I think they're gonna be good. I'm really excited. You'll see in my predictions. It's
fixed.
I mean, they have a really high team average, so I would be surprised if they don't do well.
You'll have to find out in just a moment.
Vital's really good.
Yeah, I mean they're on the climb. All right, so we have 2 more teams to cover. Next up is Zonked Squad. Another high average team, maybe in contention for best supports in the league. We have Season 1 champion, Kobos on the smokes role. We have Dax Bergensen, who is a runner-up grand finalist with Carbon Under Pressure last season, is the team captain, flexing onto Recon Initiator here. My big question for this team is, I think their support roles are super, super solid, super good. I'm really interested to see how Hoy will be able to hang as their sole duelist.
So I gotta call Hoy out because he said something earlier in chat and was like, "Oh yeah, who was it?" He said someone was gonna carry, and I was like, "Yeah," but he was number 3 overall in mini peel.
Well, yeah, of course he's flexing on the mini peelers. I can shoot the bronze players real good.
No. He was saying that someone else was gonna carry. I'm saying Hoy underestimated himself.
You want him to have more of an ego.
I'm giving Hoy an ego, basically.
We got to get Hoy's ego up because he's going to be the duelist for this team. So he's got to perform. And I will say, Dax isn't. Yeah, I didn't say he was flex. I meant flexing as in he shifted roles. I see how that's confusing, but yeah, I know that he has full swap to Recon in order to form this team.
See, I need Hoy to get to plat so that Hoy can carry me out of plat.
True.
That's why I'm hyping him up.
I was gonna say Hoy. I remember he was on Roblox retirees last season, and one of the team they beat one of the Double Immortal teams, Amber's old team. And I remember looking at that game, and it was Ni, who we saw on Fruit Ninjas, and Hoy as like a gold and a plat duelist, like outperformed the 2 like immortal duelists. So they have it in them. All right, and we'll go to our final team here. The final registered team playing in the Underpeel kickoff for the registered teams, not Hyper Kalmia. They're unfortunately going to have to sit out. It is going to be Team Niche Micro Celebrities. The Micro Celebrities coming out. Fang going to be sitting out, but being subbed in for. But let's take a look at this roster with the Niche Micro Celebs.
So I know you see Dr. Turnup as silver, but everyone who's ever showed up to a lunch ranked when they were still happening and watched Dr. Turnup play, you know Dr. Turnup is not silver. I am afraid of Dr. Turnup. If I swing a corner, Dr. Turnup's there, I'm unswinging that corner.
They're gonna squish you.
Real.
Because you're scared, Inturtus.
Yeah. I am shaking in my boots.
I'm gonna leak Scrimbucks a bit. Turnup had some nasty headshots. Like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
We have the Niche Micro Celebrities coach, Enzo, in chat as well. So they have a coach. They're cooking up the scrims. And of course, I got to shout out Season 1 champion Olam. Always one of the highest top performers in Underpeel seasons. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, he's always been at the top of the leaderboard. So this is going to be an interesting team, though, I feel like it's very much like Olam and the support squad around him. How we think that's going to fare, as we've seen the league get better and better throughout the as we get deeper into our history. Do we think the Olam go kill strat is going to be good enough?
No. By himself? No.
No. I think if that's the strategy, no. If they run something actually and have I don't know if Dr. Turnip's gonna be lurking here. What, like playing the arena, or if they're gonna be like hard entering and playing something else.
The streets are reporting in saying that Ethan and Code are lurk gods and potentially going to win them games off of their lurks. And we have sources inside the team saying it's no longer Olam go kill. So
Yeah, yeah.
I would hope
As
so.
it should be. As it should be. Honestly, like I think that kind of worked with some teams in the past, but I think with the higher Pilo and everyone improving so much, because of how much time they've had before, I don't think it's gonna work the same. So I'm really glad to see that they didn't keep that.
I mean, it's just the evolution of Underpeel. Like, that strat will work season 1. It worked for them season 1.
Work season 3.
Yeah, it worked season 3, but I doubt it's going to start working now, especially since we have so many
I
returning
mean, in
teams.
season 3 though, is definitely an adaptation of like Sazora did hard carry a lot, but
It's
the
true.
team around him was like what differentiated them from your mom, right? Was that Sazora had the support players around him to really. Whenever he was off for a half or so, they didn't drop a map because of it, basically.
Yeah.
All right, and as Jelani, we could see leaking the bracket today. We're gonna post the first round of matchups. Before you do those, Zendikar, let me make sure that I have the spreadsheet because it's updated because we've added niche micro celebrities into it. So I'm going to send our producer a new screenshot so that he can get the correct bracket up. And while I do so, what do you guys, who do y'all have? We've looked through all 18 players now, or 18 teams heading into this first tournament. Who are you all thinking? Who are you predicting to make the grand finals and qualify for playoffs of Underpeel Masters kickoff?
So they may not be the same team, but TRX is still undefeated.
True.
True.
So you're predicting TRX to make it to grand
No,
finals?
I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to point that out. No. I don't know. I have to think of that more, but I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Zahn, any predictions?
I think, what team was it? Xinjiang Tigers and TRX are definitely probably going to be the two of the top teams coming into the qualifying for playoffs. I not necessarily. I don't know if they're going to do well. I really can't tell. I just want to watch Ken Shelter and see how they start off.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, you mentioned my Preds are. I think the grand finalists are going to be the Xinjiang Tigers and Kitten Shelter. I think are going to be in the grand finals of this first tournament. Xinjiang, the Xinjiang Tigers.
I think you were supposed to say the I as well, like Xinjiang.
Xinjiang Tigers.
I don't know.
I have them winning. That's the team I'm predicting to win.
Oh, okay.
That's the team I have winning.
I'm not a linguist. I'm sorry.
And I have Kitten Shelters making it to the grand finals because I think in this first tournament, people are. This is going to be the tournament. People are going to be the least prepared for this style of team. Jiang.
Yeah.
Jiang.
We're not saying that right.
Casting for that match is going to be so fun. I'm just going to call them the Tigers, you all. I'm going to call them the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, well, I didn't get to say mine before we jump over the thing. I think it's going to be BMX versus MVT.
Ooh,
I
have
think that's
BMX.
going to be a really good one.
I think the other teams I could see in the finals are BMX. I would have probably predicted Frog .gif to be in the finals if Frogfurger was there on Saturday. I could see MVT being there. I could see BMX being there. Yeah, for sure. And then Nibs and Knobs. I would probably have maybe even put Nibs and Knobs there, but I know that K-Pay is going to be missing for part of the tournament. So their chemistry is going to be a little off, I think.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, what's up with the MVT player not predicting themselves?
Look, man,
to win.
I am not that much of
I'm an
a
MVT
narcissist
fanboy. What can I say?
to like how I'm not even that much of a narcissist to say, oh, my team's gonna make playoffs. Yeah, like why? This is
I
my team
also
that we're
avoid
watching.
shouting them
Look.
out because that team's basically just all my homies. So I don't want to
If
glaze him
Zahn
too
won't
much.
hype him up, I'll hype him up.
True. And Paradis gets
You know what? I'm changing my username right now
Oh my god.
for this weekend.
He's taken off his own team tag so that he can
Yep.
be a fanboy.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look at the round 1 matchups and reveal what team is going to be streamed. Here we go. These are the round 1 matchups. So these are the teams you're going to be playing if you are on one of these teams. This is your first opponent. And yes, we've did some updates where I asked each team what their preferred central server is. So if both teams prefer Illinois, you all can play Illinois. If one team prefers Texas, it will default to Texas. So as you can see here, and you'll have access to the spreadsheet later tonight so that you can see it as it will update live. Don't worry about high seed or low seed. This was all randomized. There's not actually any seeding here. This is just what Ulrich called the 2 columns, basically. We have, but when you join the Underpeel League channels, you'll see that we have 8 of them. So you'll basically just go, if you're in this first column, you'll go to Up League Q1. Code Basic Not All Euro will go to Up League Q2. So that way you're not having to wait for teams to join. You just can immediately join in that queue. High seed will be Team 1. Low seed will just be Team 2. Yeah, and we'll need a 9th queue because we got our 18th team. But what are some of the matchups that stand out to you all?
Okay, but Kid and Shelter versus Tinfoil Rex is a must watch.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's such a good
100%.
game.
Dude, I was looking at all of these matchups earlier, and I was like, I want to watch like so many of them. Like, I'm so interested in so many of them. Like Blueberry Maxers versus Nibs and Knobs, I think would be super interesting. Frog.gif versus Sewer Cats, Fruit Ninjas versus Shaq, Kobe and Crew, Kitten Shelter versus Tinfoil
All
Rex.
of them?
No, that's what I mean. It's like all Mouse House versus
You're just
Zonk
going
Squad.
down the list at this point.
No, that's what I mean. Is I was sitting at school when I was like looking at the matchups, trying to pick which one I wanted to stream first, and I was just like, "There's so many of these that I think are just like would be super entertaining to watch." They're like, it's all bangers all the time. Like, it's just gonna be super fun. But I've decided, because this is a bribable event, chat. You can bribe yourself on the stream. Are all of these games being streamed? No, they are going to happen simultaneously, Zeno, because this is a Swiss format. So you are going to play 3 games. So all 18 of these teams are guaranteed to play 3 games. You want to participate in all 3 rounds, because even if you go 0-2 to start, you can still win your last matchup to earn an Underpeel point. And Underpeel points, you get 1 Underpeel point per map win. Okay? So, and Underpeel points are going to be what qualifies the top 12 teams to champions at the end of the season. So top 12 Underpeel teams will go through based off of Underpeel points. Both the Kickoff Masters winner and the Underpeel Masters Call Your Shot winner directly advance to champions. And so then our last 2 spots for champions will be determined by LCQ at the end of the season. So you want to play all 3 rounds, and we're going to play these maps simultaneously. So all of these teams are going to play at the exact same time, so that then we get who won and who lost to make new matchups for round 2, round 3, etc. And then we'll have a top 8 cutoff that will play in playoffs the next day. And that is like the format for the weekend tournament. But as I was saying, chat, bribable, hit that donation button down below to get your bid in for next week, so that you can get streamed, because Mini's Val team is the most bribed team so far. So they're going to be up.
We're
so
up 500.
Minnie's Val team versus Xinjiang Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, is going to be our streamed match for round 1.
So ready. I will be there. I will be cheering on the sidelines.
Thank you, Antarius.
And I'm joking, you all. Donations are definitely appreciated and would be extremely supportive and helpful for funding our amazing broadcast and production squad and all the logos that are getting made. No, those are dope. But I just wanted to watch the Detroit Tigers, to be honest. So that's why.
If you do this just in, the streets are saying that Pinflash is lying. You can definitely bribe him.
All right. So I wanted to watch that because I've predicted that the Tigers are going to win this whole tournament. So I want to see if they're able to defeat one of the other top teams in round 1. Like, I think whoever wins that match is going to be set up to go on a deep run.
That's a lot of expectations.
I mean, that's the thing, though, is the Swiss tournament, basically, too, like, the math works that you are probably, especially with only 18 teams, you are almost guaranteed to make top 8 if you get 2 wins. If you win 2, you're in. Except I think with 18 teams, there will be 9 2-win teams. So one team will have to get eliminated, unfortunately, based on round differential.
I can't wait for this tomorrow just to go off the rails and every single prediction you made is just wrong.
Wait, 9?
I mean,
how would
probably.
There be 9?
There's 18 teams. I don't know. I don't know the
for
math.
2 wins, no, it'd be 4.
I'm not doing math on the stream. So
it's 4. It's the answer, by the way.
No, wait. No.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Anyways, so that's the podcast. Zahn, you have any closing words to sit this out? I hope you all enjoyed the Yapathon.
Good luck to every team we're going to be facing tomorrow, and have a good time playing playing these games. These are going to be some intense matches coming up.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for this time. I'm so excited. Buying Scrim Leaks on everyone's buying Scrim Leaks now. W first episode, let's go. I'm glad I hope everyone had fun. We will make sure that this episode will go live on the VOD channel in a day or 2 or so, whenever Zendikar is able to get it downloaded and slapped on up there. So you can always come back and rewatch it. But that's our preview for the registered tournament. We will see you for tomorrow to cast and observe the tournament. Don't miss it. It's going to be a fucking banger. And you can tune in next week at the same time for episode 2 of the podcast, where we'll go over the results and preview the draft team tournament.
I'm actually going to yap really quickly so I can explain how to actually use the cues, because
yes,
I can type it all I want. I know none of you are going to read it or read properly.
Real.
If you are a captain, you just need to go to the queue that we direct you to, 1 through 9, it doesn't matter. And then click join with your party. That's why I had you make your parties. You just click the join queue, hit your party, and then once you load in, team 1 will ban first, then team 2, then team 1, and team 2, team 1, and then team 2 will ban last to pick out the match. That's it. And then you play it out. You Q4. I mean, that's pen flash. We're gonna drop the picture, whichever matchups there are. I assume we're gonna drop the picture somewhere.
They will have either tonight. I'm gonna go hang for a little bit, but then whenever I come back, I will post. You will have access to the spreadsheet with the matchups, because you want to keep up with the spreadsheet, because captains will be submitting their results tomorrow. Once you win, the winning captain will submit the match results. I will send out the match results form for captains tomorrow before the tournament. And but you want this spreadsheet available so that once everyone is submitted, that is when you will be able to see the next round of matchups. So you can't see any early, but you need access to the sheet basically, and we will show it on the broadcast and stuff to show what the next round of matchups will be. So I will be sending the sheet out so that you all can see it.
I wanted to add, because Lydia did ask how we're reporting scores. Part of reporting scores, because you'll be sent a form, is we're going to ask you to report your bans along with it. So what I would do is when you're doing bans in the channel, write them down as you ban. This is specifically to captains. It'll be a lot easier to remember it that way.
Will it be only winning captains or both captains reporting the form?
Winning captains, because I think that our spreadsheet has been idiot proofed, where if we get
For the most part.
multiple results, it won't break. But we would prefer just the winning team captain to submit the match result.
So if you write them in the channel, I was to say we get the logs, don't we? Yeah. Either that way, or you can just obviously write in your DMs or something.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, this is important also. Because I spent most of today before this stream figuring out need queue. You should be able to just invite your sub that day, whichever sub it is, and join the party. I made it so you can join with an unlimited amount of players in your party, and the players in the party do not need to confirm that they're there. Obviously, the players that aren't there will not be available to join the call. No one needs to click or join a VC. They don't need to be ready for it. They don't need to join a VC for it. It'll just automatically start the map bans. So when the queue starts, it is your job as captain to have people ready to play when you click join. Like when you join, every member will be added to the queue. You'll start the queue, and the queue will be started immediately. Map bans will go out, and then you will just play your game out.
That's so much more convenient than last season.
Yeah,
all 3 seasons.
I hadn't
We're upgrading.
spent time then because I wasn't really a part of Underpeel. I was just kind of like moderating. Now that I'm actually running production, I spent a little more time looking into it. You don't need to remove players from your party. You don't need to switch people out. You can just invite the sub and then kick them out. You can have 7, 8, however many players in your party. Doesn't matter. You should still be able to join the queue fine. And you don't need to confirm people are there and all that. It's much easier. It'll be much easier.
That's so much easier. I wish you had that last season.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it was a point of contention for a while, so I wanted to get that fixed before tomorrow. Luckily, I did find a way to do it, so it's not a huge deal.
W Zendikar.
Best
mod for real.
I think that for the most part, unless I'm missing something, because I want to get the process told now on how to do queues, because we can write it out all we want. I know Penflash knows with all the announcements that he writes out, they maybe are read, but they are quickly forgotten. But when they're told to verbally, it's easier to remember. So if we're missing anything, I think it's a good time to mention for like queue stuff.
Also, make sure to yell at Penflash when stuff breaks and not Zendikar.
Yeah. Bring it to me.
Unless it's the stats, then yell at Interdus.
No. Then you yell at Lydia.
Should you yell at both of you?
No.
Uh-huh.
It's not my fault, it's Lydia's fault.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay, it's stats boy.
Alrighty, well, that's going to do it for the first episode of the Underpeel podcast. So, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all. We'll see you tomorrow for the kickoff tournament. And good luck, everyone. Happy Underpeeling.